Gene Simmons, Dan Krisnitz, CEO of Invictus. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks
Gene, it's always good having you here, and Stan, it's great to meet you.
It's a pleasure to see me again.
Gene, I have to ask, I watched your show, I followed your career for so many years. No drugs, but now you are Chief Evangelist Officer of Invictus. How'd you make that decision?
Life is actually what happens to you while you're busy making your plans. I was judgmental and dismissive and arrogant about a little knowledge, is dangerous in the wrong hands. I was wrong. I threw out the baby with the bathwater because I'm a straight guy. I use aspirin and I'll numb my gums when I go to the dentist's office, but otherwise never smoked anything rolled up, never put anything here or in any other part of my body. Don't smoke cigarettes, never been drunk in my life. That's just a personal choice. It's not a judgment on anybody who wants to do it. But as I started doing research, I found astonishing videos and research showing 6-year-old children, specifically one girl, who had epilepsy. And almost magically, miraculously, I saw a cannabis-based product being rubbed on the head, and within a short time, if not cured, certainly diminished. And the more I learn about cannabis, the more I realize how wrong I was. So I initially got involved with Dan Krisnitz, who's the CEO of Invictus-MD.com. See what I did there? Strictly as a financial play, because I'm bullish on the company starting from top down. Management, how they treat it, what's the culture, and all that. So it's a solid business. And the interest of full disclosure, these guys gave me $2.5 million cash. Plus,
cash is good.
Plus I have, it still is, cash is still king, as long as you report it to the government, kids. And I have $10 million of stock in Invictus because I'm bullish on the company. Now, after the fact, regulatory is going to sort of limit what I can say about it. So I urge everybody to ignore what I'm going to say or he's going to say and just go do your own research because it'll spin your head around. It's unbelievable what it's doing in the medical area. But let's go to recreational. I've never used it, but let me see. I can smoke something that might give me cancer. I can drink a lot. There's even clothing that describes that. It's called wife beaters. I can get into car wrecks and kill people, do all this kind of stuff, and that's legal. But cannabis, recreationally, which might give you the munchies, you may reach over for a Dorito, isn't legal in some parts of the world.
Well, Gene, that's a great pitch. Give me the pitch, Dan. Why? Tell me about your company, what you guys are up to.
Sure, yeah. So we are a producer in Canada. We have 2 cultivation licenses, one in Alberta, one in Ontario. We have probably the largest land play in the country right now, available to grow. The amount of cannabis is going to be required for the recreational market. The market now is changing. We're medicinally legal across the country, very different from the US, and we're going recreational come late this summer. Everything's on progress to do that. And really, when I met with Gene, I don't look at Gene as a celebrity, I look at him as an entrepreneur. And I needed somebody to help me promote, get the word out of the company Invictus from a public market standpoint. And because of his business background, he came on board and we started to text each other at 3 in the morning. And
we still do.
We still do. And so we brought him on board to kind of get the word out.
I was talking to our co-editor of The Deal, our other publication, private financing. How is that looking in Canada? He was hearing that it's starting to dry up. Mike Brown.
Yeah, I think that, there's been a lot of money going out into the market for the Canadian cannabis companies. I wouldn't say it's dry. There's a lot of redistribution of wealth as people put in money in one company, the company skyrocketed, and then they take it out, put it into the next company. So that's happened. It's still there. There's still a lot of companies getting funded. We raised $80 million in the last 18 months. We've raised $80 million for Invictus. We deployed about 60 of that into our licenses and growing our square footage,
Looks
et
like you picked
cetera.
the right horse, Gene. Yeah, that's great.
Well, again, Germany it's top down. Germany under Angela Merkel, and that's the correct way to pronounce her name, because ich kann aussprechen ein bisschen Deutsch, ich habe gelernt auf der Schule. Germany's in good hands. Same country under Hitler, not such a good idea. Start from the top down and see whether or not the culture is right and the management is right. Back to you, Chet.
What about M&A? What is the M&A opportunities? We already see a couple deals in here. What's it looking like for you guys?
Yeah, there's a ton of consolidation going on. So recent announcement, MedRelief and Aurora, $3.2 billion acquisition. It's the biggest yet. We're going to see more and more of this. Some of the big guys are rolling up the smaller guys.
Are you getting calls?
We're at about a 200 million market cap right now, so some of these other guys that are looking at us being production ready for the recreational market, we're definitely, I guess, in the sights. Whether we do something, that's to be determined, not in discussion at this point, but there's definitely a lot of activity in this.
So I have a question for TheStreet. What do Canada and Israel know in terms of legislation for cannabis that we don't? Like, what is, I mean, I understand that Israel has more patents than any country on earth other than the United States of America, but why are they leaders on this? Why is Prime Minister Trudeau, well, I'm just asking the question, I'm not leading the witness, Judge Ito. See what I'm doing there? Why is the Prime Minister of Canada saying that recreational cannabis is going to be legal in Canada shortly? What is it about America that prevents the legislators from becoming informed about the research? So the only thing I'm doing is I turned into Invictus as a financial play, and I'm not here to tug on your shirt sleeves, everybody listening to TheStreet, all these millions of people. I'm urging everybody, especially legislators, to do your goddamn research. Find out what you're talking about so you can pass legislation from an informed point of view.
So it sounds like you think cannabis should be legal in the U.S.
I don't want to be the one that's trying to convince anybody of anything, but I do think legislators are far behind in America. Certain, go to Colorado, so you may as well be in another country. You go to Texas, it's completely off limits. So let's decide as a country whether or not cannabis medicinally should and can be used by people who have ailments that doctors prescribe cannabis. John Boehner, the former head of the Republican Party, a wonderful man, family man, loves America as much as you do, but perhaps a different political persuasion, has come out recently, the last 2 or 3 weeks, saying returning vets from war should have access to cannabis-based products. It's above politics. Is it good medicinally? You have to make up your mind. Should it be available recreationally instead of something that might give you cancer? Come on!
Yeah. I mean, Dan, you think it's eventually, when is that trigger point? When does it eventually happen, you think?
So we're final reading coming in June, and we're talking late summer.
Wow.
So the Trudeau government is full steam ahead. This is happening. There's been some roadblocks, just like any other thing, but it's looked like it's going to happen by end of summer.
What do you think the market response would be to some of these listings, potential listings like Canopy? I mean, what is the interest like on Wall Street in plays like you guys?
Yeah, more institutional investors are getting into this. This has been very much a retail kind of play since the beginning, but now more institutions are getting in. I think once we go recreational, it'll just cement it that it's here. It's here to stay. Sure. This isn't a dot-com bubble. This isn't something like, we know this has been around for decades and people have been making money off it for decades. So I think that there's going to continuously be reaction. I think a lot of the companies like Canopy might have already value baked into the valuations today. So whether it goes up another tenfold, that's to be determined. Companies like ourselves are just getting into the market a little bit more recently, have a lot of room for growth.
Yeah. Gene, I guess
by the way, sorry to disturb you, but it's one of the better things I do. Before I got involved in the cannabis business, all the usual suspects came to my home in Beverly Hills. Canopy guys, all the biggest ones.
Canopy went after you too.
Absolutely. The CEOs and their board of directors came to my home. The mountain is not going to come to you, Mohammed, right? So they all went to the mountain. See what I did there?
You're at the mountain.
And then at the end of the day, I met Dan Krisnick. I'm a big believer, I'll say it again, top down. If somebody on the low end impresses you, that's nice. A company in the wrong hands, with this place without Jim Cramer, come on. You owe me. So
we do pretty good. We do pretty good.
All right, settle down. Don't get excited. Kramer versus Kramer. He asks himself questions. See what I did there? So when I met Dan at the end of the day at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I'd had a full day, one right after the other, of people pitching, let's get involved in the same company. He's the only one that talked about emotion and the feelings and how he wants his people in the company. And Invictus-MD.com, the pride of doing something they believe is good. That's a good idea. And then we started talking about our kids. There was no question in my mind. The choices I've made in my life have always come from emotion, and then you kick the tires and all that. Because if you're going to be in business with somebody whose guts you hate, it's just not going to fly. I like him. Personally, I don't like him, but the business model is good.
Sure. Talk to me. I guess switch gears a little bit on stocks. Every time you've come in here, you've made some phenomenal stock calls, and to be frank, you've gained a cult following on the street. Where's the Dow going next, Gene?
Nobody touches me because I am not beholding to anybody.
Well, I got to give you a ring. Where's the Dow next?
Well,
What are you
it's
thinking?
not. It's of course of the people, for the people, by the people. When I rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange at the behest of then head Grasso, there was no corporate thing, so I wasn't beholden to anybody. And on the floor, the Dow was under 8,000. On the floor, Fox Business asked me, so what do you think? This is terrible. America's collapsing. You have no idea what collapsing means. This ain't 1929. Invest in America. You like burgers? Buy burgers. I said the Dow was under 8. I bet you it's within a year it's going to be over 10,000. And it was. So shall it be written. So shall it be. And then on your wonderful show with your powerful and attractive self, what did I say on camera?
23,000, but you said that months ago.
Yeah.
Who passed it?
We will see the day shortly, 2 years, it's going to break 30,000. What is he talking about? Let me give you the scenario. Ready? Saudi, Israel, Egypt form a public alliance of cooperation. Flights from Israel are going to fly into Saudi Arabia. It's going to be a different world. 1. 2, North, South Korea do actually come together. Don't worry about the diatribes and all that. That's not diet and tribes. It's a diatribe. They are going to come together. Kim Jong-un has already started to dismantle. President Trump, who I know and understand, is part of vitriol and getting up there. And, he has it's kind of Tourette's kind of stuff. But that doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody says. Do it. Make it happen. So there have been other presidents who have been better with media, from Reagan on up. But at the end of the day, people in America are concerned about 2 things. They don't know about the street or the Dow. Is my family safe? Is my country safe? That's foreign policy. Can I feed my family? That's commerce. Those are the only things they care about. The rest is for the academics, New York and LA, to argue about. In middle America, can I feed my family and am I safe? I don't know about you, but this president is going to get reelected, whether you like it or not, if there's peace and congruence between North, South Korea, and the Dow is about to break 30,000 before the end of his presidency. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
If that happens, he's our next president.
Are you surprised by how the markets reacted to the Trump presidency? You know him fairly well.
Yeah. Well, as you know by the numbers, as he was coming in, there was a dip, and it was at 17,000. Buy low, sell high. Isn't that what you learned with grandma, right? Mr. Buffett understands this and all that. When the Dow goes down, believe in America. The president he started to announce it. I'm going to lower corporate to 15 or 20, whatever it is. Wall Street just kind of goes, that's our kind of guy, pro-business. You get a stack of papers like this to start a new company. What are you trying to do? Drive every company overseas except to France, where you can't fire anybody? Yay, socialism. And so what he did was make it business friendly. And so all of a sudden, the Dow's exploding. The Dow's at 24,764, now 765. We're down 50 points. Are you kidding me?
Going at 30,000. I got to ask you, you are by far probably the biggest rock star of all time.
And the best looking.
And the best looking, clearly. I got to ask you some about rock star CEOs that everybody just touches our life here on Wall Street. Just some quick thoughts. Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Rock star CEO? What are your thoughts?
He's an absolute rock star because, again, he's not beholden to anybody. NASA is an organization. You have to remember, as a student of history, America invented flight. Not corporate America. 2 brothers who had a bicycle shop, of all places, completely unqualified to talk about flight. No resume. They invent flight in Kitty Hawk. I still don't know where that is. Whether you're talking about the Winklevoss twins, who really started the Facebook and then somehow was appropriated by Mr. Zuckerberg. Ad infinitum, ad nauseum. America, the land of ideas. We walk on, Europe was talking about the past, and they're proud of their past. America's walking on other planets, okay? And so the difference between Europe and America is they're concerned with good taste. We only care whether or not it tastes good. The 24-hour lifestyle was invented here. Spain still has fiestas. In the middle of the day, while the market and the street is rolling along, they're sleeping. Really? Why don't I buy Spain and change the business model?
So you like Elon Musk?
I'm a big fan of his. The tunnel and doing bricks that are affordable for housing. I mean, real far. And by the way, Richard Branson is a futurist, understands. Keep going forward, because if you stand still, you're not really a shark, are you? You're going to drown in the water. You got to keep swimming through that water and forcing the water through your gills so you can be healthy. Your doctor will tell you, you stand still, you're starting to die. Keep moving until they drag you, kicking and screaming off the face of the planet.
What about Apple CEO Tim Cook, music industry?
I'm a big fan of Tim Cook. I think he's a powerful and attractive man. But the entire music industry is as sick as a dog, and it doesn't affect me. I'm a rich guy who's been around a long time. We fill arenas and stadiums, and KISS is America's #1 gold record award-winning group of all time in all categories. But my heart breaks when a new band tries to get traction. You can't. The kids are downloading everything and file sharing. It's called stealing. For nothing. I got a Spotify deal, and I can download.
They're a public company now since we last talked.
Nice. And you guys, or somebody asked me what I thought of it, and I said what the stock price was going to be. I was pretty close, 200, whatever it was. And so the point is that it's a sick animal because legislation is not qualified to understand what underlying rights are, like copyrights. They have no idea. They're more concerned with, is Sector 5, District 10 going to vote for me in the next election? That's their expertise.
Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos.
He's terrific. You want me to show you his email number? No,
Yeah.
he's terrific. In the days when Amazon perception was valued high, there was nothing on the inside. There was no reason why TheStreet should, but they believed in it. There was something going on here because it's a large company that's as flexible as a prize fighter in the ring. You know, if you just walk straight forward, you're going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Like Goliath didn't do so well. David was pretty cool. You know, he was dodging and so it's not necessarily, you know, you got to be able to think long range and be flexible and give people what they want, because you, me, he, presidents, churches, we all depend on the people. Without them, because they don't really need anything that we do. Without them, we're asking the next person, would you like some fries with that, right?
Yeah. Last one, Warren Buffett.
I'm his biggest fan. His wife, of course, is his CFO. Gives him $3.29 when the market is up so he can stop by at McDonald's and get his McMuffin or McBreakfast or McJew, whatever it's called. And when the market's down, she gives him $2 and something cents. And he eats Kit Kats, my kind of guy, and drinks full sugar Coca-Cola. Now, of course, soon he'll be drinking Gene Simmons Money Back Soda, which is just debuting in 1,000 7-Eleven stores, and soon to all 10,000 in North America, and eventually to all 66,000 7-Elevens around the world. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned, kids. He's running out of time.
That's it. We're all out of time. Gene Simmons, it's always great to see you. Dan, thank you so much for just a phenomenal perspective into cannabis. Good luck with your business, and we'll hopefully
Before we go, I should
Yeah.
add Invictus-MD.com.
With an interesting ticker symbol, was it Gene?
Gene.
Yeah, you got your own ticker
G-E-N.
symbol. That's how you know
Ticker
you made
symbol.
it, Gene.
It is not my idea. In the interest of full disclosure, they came to me and said we're going to call the ticker TSX as Gene, you know, for like genetics. So people think, oh, there he goes again, you know, doing his own stuff. No, not my idea.
You never cease to amaze me. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.